every foul is not a yellow card. But anyway, that's another suspension for them. Yeah.
All right, so a 6-goal thriller, we can call it, I suppose, but Barcelona, more importantly, get the 3 points. And let's just show you exactly what that means for them. It means that after their rivals, Real Madrid, drop points today to Rayo Vallecano, Barca now move within 3 points of the Madrid side. Let's welcome in our Luis Garcia for this one. Luis, thoughts on the victory? Of course, it left a little bit of a bitter taste in our mouth seeing Frenkie de Jong sent off there. But in the end, we knew it was going to be difficult. We knew it was going to be entertaining, but Barca got the job done.
Yeah, exactly. It was about getting those 3 points and get closer to Real Madrid on the top of the league. It started well. I think that Barcelona did what they had to do in the first 45, but we knew that that high line was going to cost them something. I think that too many mistakes, and only on the pressing and the wide areas they were struggling so much, arriving to the player on the ball, and then that was causing them that they could have time to place the ball where they have to on the fantastic runs from the midfielders of Celta Vigo, doing Borja Iglesias a great job holding the ball, laying off, and allow Celta Vigo's runners. And in the second half, I don't know what happened with Celta Vigo, because when you play against Barcelona, you need to understand that for 90 minutes, you have to do 100% everything that you need to do. And the moment that you give them 10 minutes, you're going to give away everything that you've done, all the work that you have done. So they decided to drop down, sit deep. I know there was a massive effort in the first 45, all those runs, long runs from the back to the front to try to get those goals. But in the end, that was giving to the dominance to Barcelona, that they felt the control. They started making the possession longer and longer, and in the end, in a set pieces, arrived that last goal. So I think that great job from Barcelona, and not that we were expecting. We've been trying to see this Barcelona a little bit more solid at the back, but in the end, it was again about keeping the momentum, getting another 3 points. And that big blow of Frenkie Jong that is not going to be available for Athletic Club de Bilbao, one of the toughest teams of the season.
Well, I just wanted to touch on that, because when we were coming on air, I said to the producer, I don't like this referee. And he said, just tell me a referee you like. That's going to be a shorter list. Yeah. And it is difficult because, well, that is a big call, because Pedri's already out. Casado picked up an injury in the warm-up. And now Frenkie de Jong is going to be suspended. And it's consistency. Now, you could argue till the cows come home, he stood on him and should have had a yellow card. Not every challenge is a yellow card. I'll give you an example. I don't know if Luis remembers this. The first half of this game, Borja Iglesias had a hold of Frenkie de Jong like a rugby game for about 10 seconds. Just held him back and stopped him on his tracks. He did not book him. That's what yellow cards are for. They're for clear and obvious fouls like that are just not even attempting to play the ball, and challenges that are rash and really, really late. It's not for just a little stand on the toe when you're trying to poke the ball away. So it's the inconsistencies within the referees. This referee in particular, we see him a lot. And I think he is very inconsistent in his decision-making. That being said, what we saw from Barcelona today again is not going to fill you full of confidence in terms of their defence. Although they did take the sting out of the game in the second half. And Celta Vigo, as Luis said, stopped doing all the things that were productive for them in the first half. And that was getting forward with pace and playing it in behind quickly with those little 1-2s. Barcelona did a better job of thwarting that. Obviously, the Lewandowski hat-trick is a great boost for him, because, he's not getting any younger, but it never sort of leaves you. But I think as we go along in this season, we're not going to stop talking about what they were doing. As Stevie said, after the Club Brugge game, to come out, take the lead, and then do that on the halfway line again as quickly as they did. So he comes inside Marcus Rashford on the first one, and he plays this great ball in. And then the fullback, who I think got the hook at half-time, got subbed. The fullback then's thinking, I can't let him come in his right foot and whip it in for Lewandowski again. So he steps in, and Rashford takes him on the outside for the Yamal goal just at half-time. So Rashford really had that full-back on toast today, and that was a big problem for Celta Vigo, whereas Yamal on the other side, particularly in the first half, was a lot quieter. In terms of Lewandowski, as long as he doesn't have to run the channels and do all that, it's not a problem.
Still quality.
Because that instinct will never go away, that movement. He only has to move You know, with Stevie played with Ian Rush and all these other players who just came alive in the box. That's what they thrived on. And Lewandowski's always been like that. And as the years go by, Hansi Flick isn't expecting him to close the ball down as much, to run the channel, to drop deep. Just make sure you're there in the right place at the right time, getting on the end of it. I mean, you look at the goal, the penalty was the penalty. That was just getting in the right place, and the set piece was just getting in front of your defender. And it was a goal from nothing, really. His third goal of the hat-trick was a goal from absolutely nothing. The corner comes in. He shouldn't really score from where he is. So, yeah, that's a huge bonus for them. But again, they will score goals. That's not something where I don't think we're going to ever have to concern ourselves about. Oh, Barcelona are struggling to create chances and score. We know where the discussion is going. But at least they've given themselves 3 points today on a game against a side who had 5 straight wins. They're away from home. It was a chaotic game for most part. It could have gone anyway, particularly in the first half. But they've picked up the 3 points. They can brush themselves down and then wait on the international break to get over. But the big decision in the end there was Frenkie de Jong getting sent off, which I think we all agree was pretty harsh.
It's a big point for them and definitely points dropped for Real Madrid as Barcelona closed in on them. Luis Garcia, let's come to you first for this one now, because the second straight game in a row that we're not seeing any goals from Real Madrid.
Yeah, and that's strange. Today, I was expecting something like that. Rayo Vallecano is a very tough team to play against, and much more when they play at home. They can manage the ball, they have the possession, and they are very quick on counter-attack with the wide players. But when you got Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, and you Bellingham on the field, you know that you can expect goals. But today, I didn't see the intensity that is needed to play against Rayo Vallecano. I didn't see the urgency. I didn't need the desire to make something different. It was only Vinicius Junior at some point. Not much from Mbappe. Jude Bellingham was on and off also on the field. Brahim Diaz that had an opportunity on the right side didn't come off or try to show something. So in the end, I think it was a poor performance, and that's why all people has been talking and the concerns with Xavi Alonso and the way he's been making play this Real Madrid side. It's a team that normally delivers goals. They got the top scorer of La Liga with Kylian Mbappe, and today they didn't even create clear chances. We saw the highlights. Not many that we could say that they could have a big one. Only Vinicius Junior won in the first 45, but that's about it. And again, we are talking that the consistency is needed in this competition. That's why the top 4 they are getting closer and closer. So we got league for the coming months.
That's a bad sign, isn't it? You know, when you play, generally when you play, oops.
Oh, that's
the screen gone.
That's a very expensive
That's the screen gone.
Generally, when you play in Europe midweek and you have a bad result and a bad performance, the only thing you expect as a coach is to see some sort of rebound. And for Real Madrid to come out and perform the way they did, that's a bad sign for the future, because it's just not normal, particularly supposedly good sides. You can understand that if you have a great performance during the week at Liverpool, you win 2 or 3-0, everybody's on a high, and then you have to come down to Rayo Vallecano. You can sort of understand that, but the other way around, no, that's not acceptable.
I think it kind of tells you where they are, in a sense, even though they won the Clásico. The way they played at Anfield, you know, okay, Liverpool had beaten Villa, and I know we're going to get to Liverpool, but we just saw them being absolutely spanked today. And the fact that they were able to tear Real Madrid to shreds for bulk of that game, and Thibaut Courtois kept them in it, I think maybe tells you where they are. Now, I've seen a lot of these games with Barca and Real and Atleti against Rayo Vallecano away, and they're a tough team to play against, because Inigo Perez I think he's a terrific young manager. They play with pace, they play with intensity, they get forward, they are not frightened of anybody, and when you go there for an away game, you better be up for it and ready for it. And I kind of felt Real Madrid were a little bit on their heels today. To be frank with you, it was kind of half-hearted, but I think it is where they are. But again, I think to be honest with you, when you look at smaller clubs and smaller budgets, I think what Rayo Vallecano, and I know they're not the story, but I think this is the problem for Real Madrid. When you go to teams like this, what they are doing and their manager is doing with what they have is probably and arguably as good as anybody else in La Liga. So you need to make sure you're on your toes. And I don't think Real Madrid were today. It was pretty average, pretty pedestrian. And I think it was absolutely about as much as they could have got.
All right, well, a couple of things for Xabi Alonso to think about for the international break. But Luis Garcia, you've got a little bit of a break now since it is the international break. You're never in one
Where's
place
he going?
too long. And that's what I was going to ask. Where are you going
Singapore,
now? Thailand, Hong Kong,
India.
Rwanda, India.
I'm going to go back to Malaysia, guys, yes.
Oh, he's gone to that dodgy hotel room again.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, here are the match stats for this game as Manchester City definitely take 3 valuable points. Let's have a look at the standings. Arsenal still in front heading into the international break, but Manchester City breathing down their backs. And that's a story we have seen play out before. Let's get some reaction from this game. Here's Arne Slot.
Of course, everyone is disappointed. So it was a very good start of the week. Winning Villa, winning Real Madrid. But if you thought you already faced 2 strong opponents, then Man City comes across you. Away, also at the Etihad, that is for every team difficult, including us. And they were by far the much better side in the first half.
All right, Stevie, where to even start with this?
I think you got to start with Manchester City totally and utterly outplayed Liverpool.
And did that surprise you a little bit?
It surprised me the dominance that they had, yeah. And other than maybe 5 minutes after half-time, where Liverpool looked as though they were trying to get back in it, that was it from Liverpool. I mean, we laughed at Spurs yesterday, how it took them so long to get a shot. Well, Liverpool were the same today.
Yeah.
73 minutes, Donnarumma made his first save from Szoboszlai. I mean, that just tells you how this game went. And there's only one thing that really annoyed me about the game was Arne Slot sat on his hands in the first half and changed nothing. Liverpool were getting completely and utterly overrun in the middle of the park and he did nothing. You know, you've got Mo Salah standing wide on the left-hand side. He might as well have been sat in a deck chair watching what's going on. You know, Florian Wirtz doesn't know how to defend properly. And they were getting completely outnumbered in the middle because Doku was using his brains and he was either wide or sometimes he'd come in. I mean, he was all over the place. And he did nothing. I mean, at least affect the game. You know, tell people to come in, get more bodies in the middle of the park, and so they have to go at least on the outside. But do something. You can't just sit there and let the thing happen. Because all he did was sit and let the game pan out in the first half the way it had from the first whistle. You can't do that. That annoyed me more than anything else. Listen, Liverpool, at the end of the day, got what they deserved, nothing. They couldn't string 3-4 passes together at any stage. And when you're doing that against a City team that at the very least keep the ball well, then you're never going to get a hold of it yourself. So, yeah, this was absolutely 3-0 is absolutely what it should have been.
He seems to be getting the decisions the wrong way around, doesn't he? We sat and talked here. Stevie thought Gakpo would play.
Yeah.
We didn't know if Wirtz was going to play. But he's the type of player, and certainly at this moment in time, because he's not playing as we know he can from his Leverkusen days, that you should be getting more of a tune out of him like they did against Real Madrid at home. But away from home, when you need a bit more physicality against one of the better teams who've got a lot of possession, you have to say that's another managerial error in playing Wirtz in this game and not Gakpo. And Stevie mentioned changing things. He did change it, but not until half-time, when he put Ekitike a bit further wider and he put Wirtz in that false 9, and they got a little bit of joy, but it was short-lived. It was short-lived. And I was just surprised in the first 20 minutes how standoffish they were.
Yeah.
And basically allowed City to do what they wanted with the ball. And yeah, the decision probably went against them with the Robertson ducking and the offside from the Virgil van Dijk header. But I think if you're putting that up as an argument, which I don't think many people are, as to that was a game changer, it really wasn't. It really wasn't a game changer because Liverpool were second best for 80 to 85 minutes of this game, and that's a worry. But on the other side of it, City were good.
Yeah.
You know, there's no Rodri. Nico Gonzalez did a great job. Phil Foden picked up some good spaces. Doku was excellent. Bernardo Silva playing in the right and floating about was excellent. Erling Haaland was his usual self. Nico O'Reilly, he's not even a fullback, the young lad. And Mo Salah never got a kick. Mateus Nunes, he's a midfielder. He's playing it right back. Never got under any pressure. All these things in the City side, you said, well, they've got two non-fullbacks playing in the fullback positions, and we're supposed to be one of the best teams in Europe. Surely we can get at them. They never got at them. Yep. And so City had it easy. They played well. They passed it well. They looked dangerous. They looked pacey. They were excellent. And Liverpool, I'm afraid, what is it? John Champion said on NBC, 7 defeats in 10 in all comps, 5 and 6 in the Premier League. So the Villa and the Real Madrid games have sort of gone already. All that good work.
I mean, Liverpool lucky that this wasn't the City of 3 years ago. Otherwise, it would have been double.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, Haaland wasn't in the game that much. You know, considering the amount of ball that City had, they didn't do as much with it as they should have done. And you're talking about Doku. That's what Verts is supposed to be doing. They're both playing in the same position, and they're both asked to do the same thing. Sometimes you can go wide, sometimes come inside and do it. And that's what Doku did. He came inside. I mean, in the first half, I didn't think he had this in his locker. He played the best pass of the game to Phil Foden, who'd run right through the middle of the Liverpool's back line. Yeah. And only because Foden had a bad touch on his right foot, they got away with it. But that was the best pass of the game. He gets the penalty. He scores the goal, sticks it in the top corner. All of the things that he did in this game, the other guy on the other side was supposed to be doing that, not Doku.
Because the manager doesn't know what his best team is. From an away game, can I play Wirtz away from home? Or maybe play him at home because it's a bit easier, we've got a bit more ball, but away from home... I mean,
what would you change? I mean, I'm sitting watching it and I'm going, Salah's a passenger again.
I find it difficult to... I have a difficulty seeing Gakpo as the man that misses out.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a guy who, even when he's not playing well, he's a danger at the back post. He'll come inside and he'll create something or he'll score a goal. And he's always making those runs. And I just find that, the fact that he's been left out the side and Mo Salah, who, let's be honest about it, has done nothing all season, literally nothing, right? Barely got a kick today. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago after the Chelsea defeat. When he's not scoring, creating and being a nuisance, he's offering no defensive help.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, he did not come back once of any note and help Conor Bradley out. Not once. And that, he couldn't see that the young man was up against it with Doku, who was on fire. So what happens then is midfielders have to start coming out because he ain't coming back, which people say, well, he's never came back. But yeah, he's scoring 30-plus goals a year. He ain't doing that now, and he ain't defending. So when he doesn't come back, Gravenberg or McAllister have to shuffle out here, and guess what? Then you're overrunning the middle of the park away. So when you don't have everybody pulling in the right direction, when the proverbial is hitting the fan, and it is for Liverpool at the moment, then you start to see the weak points in the rest of the team. And I'm sorry, I don't care if they're paying him 500 grand a week or not, whatever it is. His place in the team has to be up for grabs.
Right, and that's the next question, because how do you change it? Because you look at the bench, I mean, the obvious change would be Frimpong, but he's injured, and he's been injured all season. So what do you do? Do you stick... I mean, who do you put out there? You're not putting Keys out there. I mean, you're not. He's not good enough. So after Frimpong, there's nobody else. Unless you're going to fling Gakpo on the right-hand side, which takes away his best attribute, which is coming inside and whipping balls in or coming in at the far post for crosses, played across. Do you switch Wirtz over there? You've just paid a record transfer fee, but you're going to put him somewhere where he's never played. I mean, so there's not a lot of choice. But at the end of the day, I absolutely think you have to wake Salah up by sitting him on his backside and try and get on with it, because he needs a wake-up call. Because he clearly doesn't realise he's not contributing enough. Because if he did realise that, he would try and get back. You know, whether he can defend or not isn't the point. At least show willing and get yourself back in a position where you're going to try. But he's not. As I said before, he's standing on the line, waiting on somebody getting him the ball. And that's it. That's all he's doing. And then, unfortunately, right now, giving it back to the opposition.
If things continue like this for Liverpool, of course, Arne Slot now has the international break to ponder a few things. But Stevie, as you said, I mean, we've been talking about this for weeks and weeks now.
Well,
is the title race over for them?
Oh, God. Have you ever
No,
seen
I
it?
wouldn't throw it in yet. But the way
come
that
on.
no, I wouldn't. The way
Not
that,
yet.
No,
Come
the,
on.
the way they're playing, yes. The way they're playing.
Because it's not looking
had-
like an
they've
easy
had-
fix that we're going to see in the
they've
next
had
2, 3,
10.
4 weeks.
10 league games. Is it 10? And we're talking about one of those 10 games where they've actually played from the start to the finish, which was Villa.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
I'm not look.
Just because they've won games before, in terms of performance,
Oh yeah.
they've been absolutely bang average and gotten away with. They've gotten away with being in 8th right now.
I mean, they're 8 points off. So, look, I'm glass half full here.
Wow.
You know, sure. At some point, you've got to look to the manager
Yeah.
to get this team on a run.
Yeah.
Now, we kept saying that last year about Man City. This will end. That'll end. Next week, they'll put it all behind them and they'll go on some incredible run because that's what City do, and it never happened, right? It didn't happen. They couldn't stop the free fall. But they arguably had more injuries to key players than Liverpool have had. This manager just can't figure it out at this moment. And he can thank his lucky stars they had Villa at home last week and beat them. Never mind the Real Madrid game. Look, if they keep playing the way they are, it goes without saying, they'll be lucky to make the top 4. That's how bad it has been. But from the other side of it, I think if you're Arsenal, who had a little slip up, obviously at Sunderland, who were,
Props to them.
yeah, props to them. And they're in the top 4.
Yeah.
They are physical. They've had a great run. They don't mind getting it forward quickly. They don't mind a bit of a scrap. They can play a little bit as well. So Arsenal didn't get it all their own way, and then you look over your shoulder and say, maybe City are just not going to go away. Yeah, they've got their little cracks here and there with their defence and whatnot. But boy, it wasn't just relying on Erling Haaland today. There was performances from other players, quite a few of them, particularly Doku. So I think that was a little marker from City that potentially they could push Arsenal this season and put last year behind them. Because at the moment, it looks that they're the only team that are capable of doing so.
But do you see them getting there, at least halfway there now?
No, because, Nico Riley did a great job and Mateus Nunes, they weren't under any pressure, but they're never going to be, Kyle Walker and whoever it was at left backs, never going to, Diaz and Stones and Akanji and their Palm. That's kind of not there anymore. So they're getting by with what they have. I mean, they signed Ert-Nouri from Wolves to play left back, and we said it all along. He's not a very good defender. To be honest, he's decent on the ball. He's not a good defender. So there are still areas of this City side that could come back and bite them on the bum.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about
They've got
that.
a consistency about them now, right?
Yeah.
But there's still holes. And luckily for them, unlucky for Liverpool.
I just don't think Liverpool did enough today.
No, they never even got close to taking advantage of those holes that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen every week. There are going to be games and teams that will question City's back line. It just so happened today they weren't questioned at all. And so you kind of forget about it. But the truth is, you can get at Man City. Unfortunately for Man City, they're not going to play Liverpool every week.
Well, I said that Jeremy Doku looks pretty lively in there. Craig, you said that was an understatement. He was excellent.
Oh, he was
Is
the best
he
player on the field.
undroppable now, do you think?
Well, you want to drop him?
No, I would never.
Well, listen.
Well, he's playing the next game. Let's put it that way.
Look,
But in terms of he's becoming that player.
if 7 or 8 games down the line his form falls away, there's plenty of players will come in and replace you. I think one of the things, and I'm sure the City managers talked to Doku about it, he's a young lad, youngish, and what you find with the younger players is consistency. And he's a player that will do and has done special stuff and then has just faded away, even within a game. And what we've seen lately from him is a little bit more consistency, particularly in his end product. Doku will beat people, he'll go on these runs, but then the end product has to be there. And we're starting to see that from him. And at the end of the day, that's what makes the better players, is what they do in the final third with the final pass, the final ball, the cross. And he was excellent at that today. And
And
when you've got that kind of pace as well,
He's
it
not-
frightens defenders to
He's
like.
only 23. I mean,
Yeah, he's a young boy.
he's only 23 years old. I was taken aback when I thought he was about 25, 26. But, you know, at 23 years old, doing what he did in this game with the size of this game, just shows that he's actually matured. I mean, this is a guy that we all thought he's a left winger, he's going to go to his defender, he's going to use his pace, and he's going to have that little tricky. And then today we saw a different player. We saw a guy in the middle of the park picking balls up, playing the type of pass that I was talking about that he put Foden through, and then he's going wide, and then he's skinning the defender, and then he's getting brought down. I mean, if he keeps maturing the way he has this season, then you're talking about a different quality completely.
Erling Haaland, I mean, missed the penalty today, but we can't judge him on that. I mean, what more
Did he
can
get
we say
lucky
about
with
him?
it?
He got lucky,
You
aye.
think
He
he got
got-
lucky?
yeah.
Did he? Did he or did he? I mean,
You can't fault he put himself in a position where
are we saying
he got a break.
Are we saying it just hit him?
Yes,
You think so?
yes.
You don't think he was waiting for it?
I think he's done what good centre forwards do. They expect it to be missed, but actually don't really. So he's kind of gone through the motions of making up. As he's in the air, I'm 100% sure he's saying, "Well, Kanati's getting this," but he's done what you should do. You just never know. So he's got himself in the right place. But yeah, it's hit him. It's hit him in a great spot, right in the middle of the forehead, but it's hit him.
He's got a good forehead.
Yeah.
What I didn't like about some of the at Liverpool today, and I think it was when the third goal went in, is that everybody just turned around with their shoulders
There was
down.
an acceptance, wasn't there?
At the end, there was there was no going round like
Riling everyone back up.
right, whether right or wrong, playing the blame game. Whether, just there's nobody going round. Said, you never tried. They just all turned round. You seen all the red jerseys, hunched shoulders, and that was the right word, the acceptance.
Yeah.
And there was the one guy I think, and I'm not suggesting they were not putting the effort in because they were, but the one guy again who maybe didn't have his best game but still was Szoboszlai was just working and grafting and running. Never got much change to be fair, but just at least had a bit of aggression.
And at least
about
he had a kick. He had a kick at
he had
the
a
end
kick,
of-
yeah, he did. He had a kick or two. He ruffled a few. He was working hard. He chased back. He continued this theme of it cared.
Right.
I just got a feeling today with Liverpool, it was not that they didn't care, but as it sort of went against them, it was a little bit feeling sorry for yourself.
You can't argue that every great team, never mind good team, need a base and a platform that can be relied upon. And there is absolutely no doubt that this season, that platform at the back with Kanati and Van Dijk is not doing what it's supposed to. And unfortunately for them, the platform in midfield of Gravenberch and McAllister, they are not producing what they did produce last year either. So right up the middle of your team, the base, the spine, whatever you want to call it, is just not at the races whatsoever. And so you shouldn't really be surprised when the team's struggling.
Because they got, and it is a little surprise as well, because they didn't have to go to this Club World Cup. I always struggle to say that.
Because you erased it from your mind.
Even getting it out, it just hurts. But lots of teams did, and we discussed how it would affect the players. Liverpool didn't, so I don't know how they never give the players as long as they used to get off, but they would have had a pretty clean summer to go away. Premier League champions.
Did some good business, as at least we thought.
Did a lot of good, but now, look, there was the tragedy that hit the club and the players and everybody surrounding it. You can never measure how that affects anybody. You just can't quantify it. It's just such a terrible incident. So you don't know how much that took out the dressing room. But in terms of the rest and recuperation they got, it was pretty perfect from that perspective. Then all the new signings coming in. Yes, you lost Alexander-Arnold, and Diaz goes to Bayern Munich. Big players for them. He's a player, Diaz, that could have fitted in for Mo Salah because he's struggling, but he hasn't sort of got him anymore. But in terms of being fresh and sharp, I know McAllister's had a few little niggles, but he just doesn't look like the player that we know he is, and Gravenberch looks a little lost in there. So straight down the spine of the team, they've been having their problems.
Let's check in on the MLS Playoffs, shall we? Inter Miami up against Nashville. Luis Suarez in the stands. The series is tied at 1 apiece here. 10 minutes in. Inter Miami will take the lead, and I mean, of course.
Surprise, surprise. I mean, there's 4 defenders, and none of them can get close to it.
Honestly, there could probably be 10 defenders, and Messi's going to do Messi things, and, well, here he is again.
I mean, it's an easy finish, but it's a super little ball.
73rd minute now, Jordi Alba finding Tadeo Allende, and Miami 3-0 up.
Nice football.
Yeah, nice little 1-2.
76th minute, and Messi involved once again, sending a through ball over to Allende again.
There you
nice
go,
little chip.
dinky-doo.
A little dinky-doo.
It had a dink written all over it. Goalkeeper's in a bit of no man's land, really, isn't he?
All right, well, let's get some post-match reaction. Here's Inter Miami's Noah Allen on Messi.
He's the best in the world, man, and yeah, I mean, so fortunate to play with him. It's unreal. Like you said, I had to be pinching myself, I guess, sometimes.
Is he leading your young guys?
Yeah. I mean, he's not only the best player in the world, but I would say he's the most experienced player in the world as well. He's played in every big stage. He's won in every big stage, you could say, and you know, he's got so much experience that, you know, it would be silly if he didn't use it, and he's using it. And it's such a help not only for the younger guys, but for the older guys as well, you know, to have a leader like that. You know, it's very important for us, and, you know, even when there's ups and downs, there's ups and downs in every team in the world, and, you know, he knows that, and he handles it so good for us.
Bless. Well, if you didn't want to believe Noah Allen, just have a look at these graphics. It just kind of proves that Lionel Messi, well, he's pretty good.
I tell you what, I didn't realise Messi was as good as he was till I heard that.
Have you needed convincing?
He's also played, he's played in some big stages.
Oh, yeah, the biggest stage.
Amazing.
Well, there you go, Lionel Messi. Well, Inter Miami now have moved on to the Eastern Conference semis, and they will play FC Cincinnati. That game will be on November 21st. Let's check in on another game that went on. Minnesota up against Seattle. Crazy game, this one. The series was tied 1-1. Here's Seattle taking the lead through Rusnak.
Yeah, it's a nice layoff, but he's still got a lot to do from there. Great finish.
Well, just about 3 minutes later, Seattle will double their lead.
No.
Lewandowski.
Oops.
Swing and a miss.
Oops.
19 minutes in, Minnesota get one back.
It's a great strike. Yeah, it's gone away from the keeper. Yeah, it's a beautiful goal.
41st minute now. Rosales getting a red card for this headbutt on Ferreira, and Minnesota go down to 10 men.
What a dumpling.
Yeah, he shoved his head in.
Seriously.
Watch, he pushes it in here.
Oh, silly.
That's how you let everybody else down.
62nd minute. Look at that.
Great header at the far post. Nice flick on.
71st minute.
I love the keeper here. All right.
There's a lot of stuff going on in this game. 88th minute now. Cristian Roldan will find Jordan Morris, and Seattle managed to level things late. And that means we are heading to penalties now. Oh, this is tied 6-6 on penalties. 6-6, yes.
But the goalie.
Yes. That's all that was left.
And another.
Oh. That's Andrew Thomas stepping up well.
Unlucky shot.
Minnesota now with a bit of an upset as they win this one after winning that series. Well, there's a look at the graphics for how the MLS playoffs are looking. Minnesota just waiting the winner of San Diego against Portland. That game is on tonight. Let's have a look at the bottom half of the standings. Brentford there in 12th, Newcastle in 14th. Something's got to change quickly. Remember we were talking about Newcastle doing so well in the Champions League, huh? All right, looking at these two results.
Well, I look at
which one's more surprising to you? Newcastle still struggling this much, or Aston Villa finding some nice form?
No, apart from the Liverpool game, Villa were in good shape. Newcastle just continues to surprise me. I mean, Brentford, they lost Visa, they lost Mbemo. Who was the lad that went to Saudi Arabia a few months ago, the striker? Can't remember his name. Anyway.
John Duran.
Duran. He left, no, it wasn't him.
No.
And then they lost Norgard to, you know who I'm talking about? The big English lad
Yes.
up front. And then they lost Norgard, their central midfielder, who was a stalwart for them, to Arsenal as a squad player. The manager goes to Tottenham. Keith Andrews, who's been coaching, who's, you know, is pretty wet behind the ears, comes in, gets given the job. Great for him, you think they're going to struggle.
Ivan Toney.
Ivan
We
Toney.
remember.
I knew I'd get to it. All sorts of names in my ear. All wrong. All wrong. All wrong. Ivan Toney. So you lose all these players, you think, right, it's back to the Championship for you. And yet, thus far, it's a long way to go, but thus far, they have done, and Keith Andrews has done a great job. So kudos to them for that. But Eddie Howe has to figure this out. You can't just play at St James's Park every week or 10 days and go, great crowd's by atmosphere, pacey, a good bit of pace about our game. They're 1-0 up, they're in control, and then they lose these 3 goals. And could have been worse, because I think the Dan Burn first one is certainly more conclusive than the one that he was given the second yellow for. So Newcastle and Eddie Howe have to figure this out.
It is a head scratcher. I mean, it's not really a surprise. I always thought Villa would be kicking around the European spots and at best top 4, whereas I thought Newcastle absolutely would be kicking around the European spots and maybe top 4. So for them to be where they are is a head scratcher, and away from home, they just don't seem to have the heart. I mean, where's the desire? I mean, you see them at Newcastle, and right from the get-go, the desire is there. The willingness to run and fight and chase and harry. All of the things that you need to do. We all would love to play lovely silky soccer all the time, but you need to have some fighting desire, which they have at home. That fighting desire seems to somehow disappear when they leave St James's.
All right, well, earlier on when we were doing our La Liga game, it was a crazy game between Celta Vigo and Barcelona. We'll get to that in a bit, but don't forget that extra time is where we like to have a lot of fun answering your questions. It's Stevie and Craig answering them today. Well, like I said, Barcelona got a big win over Celta Vigo. Gemma Soler caught up with Robert Lewandowski.
Yes, we are with the man of the match, with Robert Lewandowski. First start after 1 month injury. I'm not going to ask you how did you feel, because it's obviously excellent. But how was having such an impact, so important, so fast?
Oh, you know that for me, especially, that was important to coming back to the team to show that I am back. I feel really good, and also today in the game, I think that the first time was a little bit crazy game, but second half we had more under control the game. We scored 1 goal more, but in the end, even in defense, we play much more better than in the first half. And in the end, I think very important 3 points, especially here in Vigo. When always it's difficult to play, but we are very happy.
Yes, you mentioned the first part was the weak point of this game, once again struggling in defense. What happened in the halftime? Did Hansi Flick correct something? And do you agree with the philosophy of Hansi Flick to keep doing the same, that high line?
In the halftime we spoke what we should do better, and Hansi told us, guys, we have to do it some things better, and in the second half we did this. So I think that everyone saw it, that the second half was more like calm, under control the game, and Celta couldn't create so many situations as in the first half. So in the end, I think that we did this very well, and in the end, it's like some kind of games, it doesn't matter how you gonna play, it's more important that you're gonna win 3 points.
Marcus Rashford assisted you twice. He's got 7 assists so far. How did you manage to get such a good connection, and how important is him?
It's like I love this kind of ball that I got from Marcus in the first half, because always when I'm in the box, is if I can get some ball, I can trying to do something. And I think we did this very well today, and Marcus also, he see a lot. Sometimes you don't have to run a lot or dribbling so many players. Sometimes if you see that where is the space free, then we can use this. And today I have to say that we play as a team very good, and if we go in this way, we can be always dangerous and we can win every game.
The last question, I guess you watched the Real Madrid draw in the hotel before this game. How important is going to the international break with that difference in the table not so big, and how important is for the team?
I think this game was after that Real Madrid draw against Rayo. That was very important for us to show that we are there. We are in the race, and to do that we have in this moment 2 points less than before the game. And I think that the plan what we did, that was our plan, and now we can looking forward. Of course, now international break now, but when we coming back, I hope so also we come back to Camp Nou, that we gonna be even stronger at home, because that always to play in Camp Nou is something special.
I think Johnny Heitinga got the tin tack at Ajax.
Welcome into Extra Time, everyone. Alexis and Stevie and Craig.
My knees get stiffer and everything like got so sore.
Should we go back to couches? Do you remember when we had one big kind of
Yeah, we didn't like
couch?
No.
Oh, I thought it was kind
You
of
didn't like
comfy.
it?
No, it wasn't.
Well,
No?
yeah, I wouldn't say comfy.
It was comfy, but we did slouch a bit.
I
It
like
was
slouching.
comfortable with an on in front of it.
Yeah, it wasn't very dress friendly, so.
Let's see if anybody's asked a decent question.
never
All right,
got
we
it
have quite a
myself.
few. Let's see if anyone, because last time, Craig, you weren't a fan of the questions.
What do you mean
First
last
one,
time? Try every time.
we'll find one that you like. First question is for Stevie. Stevie, did you consider taking a sick day today? I assume after Liverpool got
No,
battered.
absolutely not.
What, the old obvious one?
Yeah, no, you've got to, listen,
You
you've got to take it.
Yeah.
When it's good, you make the most of it, and when it's bad, you have to face it.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is.
He's not a fair weather Red.
No.
I said Fred.
No.
All right. Next question. Are we at the point where it seems like Wirtz is just not a good fit for the Premier League?
No.
I don't think it's the Premier League, although I can't for the life of me think it's more physical than the Bundesliga or La Liga or Serie A. I can't. There's big physical guys everywhere. Take the Champions League, for example, and all the European competitions. I just think he's gone into a team, he's struggling, they're struggling, and that makes it more difficult. I mean, if you'd have put Florian Wirtz in that Liverpool side at the same time last year,
You could have
it
thrived.
would have been much easier for him to integrate.
Yeah, he's a player that you'll get the best out of when you've got the majority of the ball and you're pushing forward and you're in control of the game. He's your guy that's going to open things up. But when you're the complete opposite and you can't string 3 and 4 passes together, then he's always going to be on the periphery.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Next question, also for Stevie. Wow. Stevie, was Arne
Well,
Slot
hold on a minute.
wrong?
There's only 2 of us here. So it's not like there's 5 people.
There must be one for Craig at least. Oh, there is one for Craig. I see it further down, don't worry. But Stevie, was Arne Slot wrong to put Connor Bradley up against Doku today?
No. Well, it wasn't wrong when he put him up against
Vinny Jr., yeah. He handled him well midweek.
Yeah, no. No, not at all.
So who else was he going to put up against him? Szoboszlai, because he's played right back.
Don't think so. I would
Yeah,
have
no,
liked that.
absolutely not. No, he got that right. Just so happened that he caught Doku on one of those days where
Everything
he
was
was
going
bang at it. Yeah,
Yeah. Lively.
yeah.
Lively. Undroppable.
Undroppable. Next question. Liverpool have conceded thrice the amount of goals as they did this time last year. Why is it going so wrong defensively other than having new faces?
They lost 55 goals in all competitions at the end of the season. They've lost 27 already, and we've got a chunk of the way to go to the turn of the year. So
You love some stats. You've been talking to
This is Paul
Sid.
Emphy.
I know. Wow.
I may have stole that from a
Statistician Craig.
I may have stole that from a commentator friend of mine who may or may not have been commentating on that
On the
game today. And for once in my life, I was actually listening to him.
You didn't put the volume down. You usually do mute it.
I do not. It depends who it is.
It's quite interesting, this question, right? The most important thing is that little bit that Hitesh has added on at the end. That's actually the most important thing.
That they have new faces.
Yeah. So when you go from a back four that was in tune with each other, that played with each other, that could read each other's game without even thinking about it, to a new right back, a new left back, and one of your centre backs in particular, who's having a complete and utter shocker. So, go figure. I mean, that is. You couldn't think it was possibly going to be so bad. But the biggest thing is the changes. When you make changes to something as important as that, it takes time.
And you get Alexander Arnold, who's made this big move, and he's sat on his backside,
Aye.
as he was again today at Vallecano, and it's not even a fullback that's playing, it's Freddy Valverde again. Carvajal's injured. Wow. So yeah, he's not, I don't know what the scenario is there, but that's a different story.
Maybe the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Next question. Can you guys finally admit that City are getting back to their best and can mount a serious title challenge?
Well, I think they're getting better.
Yeah.
And I think they should be able to mount a title challenge, but I think a lot of it depends on Arsenal, whether they open the door for them. And I slightly ajar yesterday, whether they really open it for them with a couple of 2 or 3 bad results in a row. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. I think if Arsenal don't do that, it'll be tough for City. But they're certainly looking.
They look better.
Yeah, they do. They do look better, yeah.
Oh, we're flying through these questions today. You guys are in fine form. Next one. Champions League final, last game of the season. You are injured, but can play. If you play, there's a big chance that you miss the World Cup because of injury. Do you play?
Wow. Ooh. I know I played in not a Champions League, but I played in a FA Cup semi-final and somewhat a final in '94, and I knew I was struggling. But we didn't have the major championship at the back of it. That's a tough one. I mean, I'm thinking back to the Euros in '96 when I played in the World Cup in '98.
I feel like World Cup's everything.
It depends it does depend on the injury. There are things that you can play with that are completely different than doing something really stupid and playing knowing that you're completely going to. You know, if there's a tiniest little muscle tear that you can feel, then you can't play. You can't play because you. Never mind miss the World Cup, you'll miss the coming season if you rip your thigh muscle or whatever. So there are certain things you can play with and certain things that you shouldn't play with. So it depends what category it is.
It's a tough one though, isn't it, if it's not something like that. It's a tough one if you're hobbling about because
you got to be.
How do you balance it? Because you want to be. Everybody wants to play in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And everybody would like to play in the Champions League final and win it. I mean,
and it's not just about you. The problem is that
your team.
Well, it is because if you step on the field and you're carrying something and you're not able to do your job, then you might cost your team. So it's not just about you; it's actually about everybody else. And actually, the truth is, it should probably be about everybody else.
Wow, true team player.
Well, because think about it. If all you're thinking about is, am I going to hurt the rest of my team? If the answer is no, then it's not going to hurt you either. But if the answer is yes, then it's going to hurt you as well. So you're going to hurt two.
A lot of people.
Hold on, who's hurt the whole thing?
Whoa, who's hurt?
You're going to hurt.
It's a bit like Lorland. This is a bit like.
You only held up your 2 fingers.
There used to be comedians called Laurel Hardy, right? And one was a dumpling, and the other one was a smart guy. And the dumpling used to come out with some really good things. And he would say it once and it would sound good. And then he'd have to say it again.
And
he
kept
mixing it all up.
So you're the dumpling.
I feel like that now.
So you're the dumpling.
I feel like that now.
Okay. But I get what you meant. I get it.
Exactly.
It's all about the teamwork.
Well, it is.
Good question.
That was a really good question.
That's one of the better questions.
Wow, Craig Burley has found a question he
That's
actually
crap.
respects. Love that. Well, the last one's for you.
Ugh.
So let's see. Craig. Craig, a few weeks ago, I asked for the percentage chance that Manchester United would end the season above Liverpool in the table.
Yeah.
And you dismissed the question as stupid.
Yeah.
Is it still a stupid question?
Probably, yes.
But if things continue how they're going...
To be fair, if Cisco clearly watches this programme, how could you possibly think that Craig Bodley was going to turn around and go,
Yeah.
yes, you're correct, I was wrong? Are you having a
Listen,
laugh?
as bad as Liverpool have been, Man United are not taking Real Madrid apart.
Yeah.
No.
Right. I don't believe Man United would take Villa apart. And Man United have just should have lost to Forest and could have lost, but for Delec's late equaliser to Tottenham. But a terrible game. Terrible. So, I mean, Liverpool have their issues, but their issues are not winning the league.
Yeah.
You know, there's a level here.
You could say United are
about
not getting...
Put it one way. If Liverpool finish below Man United,
Yeah,
wow.
that's bad.
Why are you looking at me like I have
That's
something to do with it?
Let me put it that way. If they were to
That's
finish,
when you'll take a sick day. Will you take a sick day if Liverpool finish below United?
No,
this
no, I
season?
can't do that. No.
I don't believe I said
No,
it.
good
I don't
conscience
believe I
couldn't
said
do
it
that.
was stupid. I'd never call anyone
Oh,
stupid.
can we
on
run the
here.
tape back? You know, you probably didn't call him stupid, but you said the question.
I probably did.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah, you've said stupid a few times.
oh, I know,
Yeah.
I know. I think if you look at it that way, if Liverpool were to finish below Man United, if you shuffle it around a bit, wow, what a season. Can you imagine?
I can't imagine.
Spent
I've
all that
imagined it
money in
winning.
the summer to finish below Man United. That would hurt.
Aye.
I don't know if that would have any explanation.
I don't think it will happen. The answer is, I don't think that will happen. No. I think Liverpool have got more results in them than Man United at the moment.
So it's still a stupid question.
Aye.
No, I mean, I
Relatively.
I think it's relevant to bring it up in the face of Liverpool's performance.
Climbed out of stupid to something else.
Silly.
Right.
Silly.
I think needless.
Needless. All right.
Needless.
All right, that's it. Wow, we got a question that actually Craig enjoyed.
What one?
The World Cup one, the one before.
Yeah, I mean,
As enjoyed as you
I
can.
would say in the last 12 years there's been three questions that have come from common sense.
They've gone well.
Not any more than that.
Not any more than that. Well, we'll end on a high then, shall we? Thank you so much, everyone, for sending in your
Yeah, thanks a
questions.
lot.
Get ready to send them in
It's not the people.
again tomorrow.
It's not the people.
It's not
It's
the people.
our people who filter them.
Oh, that's true. Our people filter them, but still keep sending them in. We'll be answering a lot more tomorrow when Stevie and Shaq are back on ESPN FC.